I'm not somebody who's in touch with popular culture and what's happening. I just, I'm so, but I see, obviously I have younger relatives and extended family, and I see what's happening. And, for me, the world is very simple. It's always the same. Things don't change. The fundamentals, principles don't change. And there's never been any shortcuts. There's never been any shortcuts. Some people just, it takes a while for them to realize, hopefully, when they keep doing shortcut, and they realize, okay, let me just go around. Let me go around the road you don't go. So you either take advice from people who are, what you don't waste your time. Oh, there's no shortcut to just be going step, or you decide to waste your time and say, oh, okay, I hear what they, everybody does what they need to do. That's the first thing. There's never any shortcuts. It's only through hard work that you really get fulfillment and you get a solid house. I mean, when I'm teaching my daughter maths, I'm always saying, get your maths solid, because don't leave any potholes, because maths is only going to get more complicated. And if you didn't understand that concept, you fall in a crack and you will go. So I say build your house. This is a concept you need to understand. It's the same with life. You have to just go through those steps. You have to go through the furnace. You have to go through the trials, and they'll always be there till you die, but you can't escape it. And it takes time. And for it to be a solid structure, you have to go through those paces. Otherwise, it's very hollow and it's very shallow, And I think also, if you don't use the right building blocks to build this foundation, if you're chasing after materialism, which is essentially nothing, has no substance, you're not building your life on integrity or values or relationships or, really being of value to society. If you're just chasing materialism, you won't be fulfilled. And that's why you see people, you just think, wow, they're still chasing. I mean, haven't they got the car and the house and, they're still running after this kind of dunya, because dunya will never fulfill you. That's why you have to put it in its place. It's not something that can fulfill you. It's only your spirituality, your connection with Allah that is going to fill. So the sooner people realize that is the main thing. It's your connection with your creator that fulfills this void that people have. And it is a void. We see people chasing after this and chasing after that. It's a void they're trying to fill. Once you realize that that's not going to fill it, it's really your connection with Allah. And then the rest is just stuff you have to do in the dunya. You have to work, you have to get a job, you can collect career, family, and you put it in its place. And I think then people get the fulfillment. But as long as people are looking for those superficial things to fill the void, they're going to constantly be chasing it. So it's really about people understanding who they are as human beings, why they're here, and what they need as human beings. They need to understand that. And Allah, they say Allah guides everybody. So you pray for people to be, enlightened, and really, once they get that understanding, really, I feel that they're fine. Once they really understand that, I feel everything else will be taken care of.
I have been learning from my sister Aziza as well, by the way, and just like prayer, and it's been absolutely amazing. I've loved just listening to you and your perspective on these things. There are 3 points I want to make around this. If you were to ask me, one thing is to be clear. There's absolutely nothing wrong with aspiring. You want to be a millionaire at 25, a billionaire in dollars at 25. Wallahi, there's nothing wrong with that aspiration. The Prophet did not forbid us from this, okay? He told us, he said, we should pray, we should ask for the best of this world and the hereafter. He said, in asking for the hereafter, don't just ask for Jannah. He said, ask for Jannah al Firdaus. So there's nothing, both in this world and in the Akhirah, there's nothing wrong with aspiring for everything. What is it to Allah to make you a billionaire in dollars? It's nothing to him. But just like what my sister Aziza has said, you also have to understand that do not now think that becoming a dollar billionaire is going to make you a happy person. You just understand that, or it's going to make you fulfilled. It's perfectly legitimate to look for it in a halal way, but don't think, oh, once I get it, I'm now sorted. No, you're not. Sorry to say, you're not. It doesn't do that. But having said that, in going about that journey, regardless, again, building on what Aziza said, for me, there are 2 critical elements that you need to hold with you. One is that thing we've spoken about. You must create value. Do not think you can achieve success without creating value in one form or the other. That is, if you think about the definition of what is criminal, it is precisely that. trying to get value without creating value, without anything in exchange for it. It's like you don't work, you skive off work and you collect a salary, or you take goods from somebody and you do not pay them what they consider fair value for it. You can see. So everything comes down to you must create value to be able to, build value for yourself. Whatever you think about it, Facebook and what have you, there's a perception of value that has been created. And therefore you must have that mindset. I want to blow, I want to do this. The thing you should ask yourself is, what kind of value can I create in order to get there? I want to become a CEO at 30 and so on. Which value am I going to create to be able to do that? That is number one. You must create value. You must be a person of value. The second part of it is equity. You must ensure equity in all your transactions. I was reading the Quran this morning, by some divine coincidence, Surah Al-Mutaffifin, to this issue of, woe unto those who deceive. You must create value. You must be equitable. You cannot give disproportionately to what you're giving. Okay, that is cheating, that doesn't work. So you must, as you go through that, those two things must be your guide. One is create value and be equitable in all your dealings. Be equitable in all your dealings. That you cannot go with. The final thing along this is, in order to create that value, invest in developing yourself. Effort to understand it, to know how they want rapid advancement, they want instant success. What have you invested in yourself in developing yourself rather, that enables you to be able to take advantage of the opportunities as they come? Ask yourself that question. Ask people around you that question and take it from there. Again, there are lots of articles and books that have been written about this whole issue of networking and what have you. And for me, the one takeaway I'm going to start with is not to go into these things with a view of what you can get out of it. I can't stress that enough. Don't go into any sort of like networking or whatever with a view of, oh, I need to know this person because they can be of benefit to me. Rather, you need to engage from the point of view of what can I also bring to the table. Even if you are let's go through, let's start with the vertical one, because that's where it's more, the horizontal one is more obvious, but the vertical one where you want to engage with a senior person, somebody maybe 20, 30 years, sort of like your senior career-wise and what have you. It's extremely important to also recognize, what can I do for this person? Beyond, you're not going to give them material benefits or whatever, but you might be able to do little bits and pieces of, sort of like help them do research or something or the other. Also even provide perspective from your own demographic. You need to know what you're bringing to the table. They must also see somebody that is worthy of being mentored, of being supported in you. That's something that must come clear, that people want to be part of, most people apart from our corporate psychopaths at least, they want to be part of a success story. Okay, so you must also come across as a potential success story. All right. Again, like Aziza said, not somebody who shows up. You don't want to be that person who is whining, oh, I hate my job, oh, they're so nasty, they're so this. It's very off-putting, especially for a busy executive to have to be listening to all of that. Oh, they don't pay well. No, you need to show up and be eager, and you need to demonstrate, like you're somebody with potential who is going places, who wants to get stuff done. You're just trying to equip yourself with the tools to get there, and somebody that they can look at your future and say, there's this bright young person that I mentored, who does this, and this. So you need to bring that to the table. It's very important. You need to be deliberate about the kind of people you want to engage with. And the horizontal one as well is really around your value add. You must be a person of value. It is the most fundamental thing, in my view, that you bring to the table. You must be a person. You must really sit down and think, what value do I add, even horizontally, to my peers? What value do I add? Because they will seek you out. Okay, you will not be that person that when the phone is ringing, you look at it and you're like, oh, please, not this person again. They are going to be that energy vampire that Aziza mentioned, that are going to drain you and finish you. You don't want to be that person. You must be conscious of that. That when you engage with people, you're adding value. That way you can then take value, and you'll be amazed at what people are willing to do for you at that point. Thank you.
Absolutely, I completely agree. I completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree, and I love it. I love everything Kamar said. It's completely spot on. It's a mindset issue. It's a mindset. It's about being of service, having more of a mindset of service. What can I do? What can I contribute? And I think once you have that mindset, I think naturally things just happen. Because as Kamar was saying, you become somebody who people see as adding value. If this person gets involved in the project, they're going to add value. They'll have good perspective. They have energy. They lift things. They have alternative. They have ideas. Anything. Whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, if you're somebody who's seen as adding value, people who bring things to the table, who add. I think, and being of service, wanting to help. Where can I help? What can I do? And I think if you have that mindset, I really believe naturally things just evolve and organically just happen. I really just think it takes care of itself. I really think it takes care of itself. You be yourself, be who you are, be authentic, be comfortable with yourself, and try and be of service in whichever capacity you are in. Try and be of service. Even when you're raising your kids, or we're talking about professional life, but even when you're a kid, you think to yourself, okay, what kind of human being do I want to rear? Be conscious, okay, what kind of values do I want to give? Okay, I need to embody those values when I'm interacting with my child. Okay, if I've messed up, I need to say to my child, okay, I'm really sorry. When I was a bit stressed and I took it out, and that wasn't fair. Be honest with yourself and let your child say, it's okay, mommy, I understand, don't worry about it. Take it on the chin, so you have to consciously think of what do I want to achieve? I want to raise a wonderful human being who's autonomous, who's kind-hearted, who is of service to humanity. In this company, I want to add value to the company. I want to help it grow. I want to be an agreeable teammate. I want to be somebody that people feel they can trust. And, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be remembered to be? I think that's the issue. And when you start looking at people and saying, what can I get? You're just giving so much control and power to those people. You've lost this, it's just a waste of your energy. Your energy is gone. You focus on yourself. Who am I? How am I developing myself? What can I serve? How can I help? Naturally, you evolve. And it's very much all within your own control. It's not about anybody else. It's not about you and Allah. Allah has, and also, I think the perspective you have of yourself and your position in life. If you say, look, I'm here for a reason. I'm here. God has put me here for a reason. I'm here to serve. God has given me certain gifts, and they are gifts. They're not yours. So your ego is not going to get carried away because it's on amana. It's on trust for you. He's given you a certain type of brain. He's put you in a certain family. He's given you access to a certain network. What are you going to do with those things? So for me, I'm consciously thinking about all these things I've been given. I'm going to be accountable. So I better just be serious. Whatever you do in your life, whether it's the job, whether it's the network you have, whether it's the family you're born into, whether it's the child, whether it's the husband, how you interact and what you make out of it, you're accountable. So for me, that is my perspective. I'm not worrying about who, what can give me. That's none of my business. I'm thinking about how am I going to account for this trust in every capacity, as a neighbor, as a friend, and just to be able to say, what, I tried my best, I was honest, to be able to answer those questions. That is the mindset I feel that will ultimately, organically help you to be more fulfilled in life. And also give you some self-accountability and keep you in check and really keep you on track. I really believe that mindset is very important.